final segment on this week of In My Own Words, the podcast, Touchdown Alabama magazine, Stephen M. Smith. I know I mentioned before the break that the final segment would be on the pros and cons of playing two quarterbacks in terms of Alabama football with Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. But you guys thoroughly understand with news media, different stories, new information comes out each and every day. And in terms of the National Football League, the league's new year, free agency, climaxed on Wednesday. So many big-time names, marquee pieces being moved around, shipped around, cut, released, guys signing new deals. And a former Alabama football standout found a new professional home. Now, I do intend to next week jump into the pros and cons of playing two quarterbacks, but right now, final segment will focus on AJ McCarron. As of Wednesday, the New England Patriots that morning offered him a contract, but it was the AFC East divisional foe, the Buffalo Bills, that ultimately swooped in and stole McCarron from Bill Belichick and the Patriots. The Bills and McCarron agreeing to a 2-year deal worth $10 million, but McCarron can actually make $16.5 million in the next 2 years. The other $6.5 million will come from if his playing time exceeds certain conditions. If he goes out there and really excels, takes the majority of the snaps, just really balls out and plays well for Bills Mafia, AJ McCarron could really get the bang for his buck. But the 2-year deal came Wednesday, according to NFL Network's own Ian Rappaport. Now, even with the Bills agreeing to terms with McCarron, it's still in the market for a quarterback. Keep in mind, Buffalo holds pick 21 and 22 overall in the first round of this year's draft. So it's still in the market for a quarterback, even with getting the 27-year-old former Crimson Tide standout. Now, it's in play for possibly a Lamar Jackson, a Mason Rudolph, a Josh Allen, maybe a Luke Falk, an Austin Allen. Would it get a Sam Darnold, a Josh Rosen? Not quite sure. Baker Mayfield could also be in play for the Bills, especially with the solid pro day that he had on Wednesday. But McCarron does get the opportunity to come in, compete, and win the starting job outright. He spent the last 4 years with the Cincinnati Bengals, 2014 to 2017. And during that time period, 920 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, came close to defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2016 AFC wildcard game, but boneheaded mistakes from Vontaze Burfict and Adam Pac-Man Jones had to come into play. The Steelers ended up winning that 18-16. There's a lot of talent in Buffalo for McCarron. If you look at the running back position, you've got LaShawn Shady McCoy and Chris Ivory. At wide receiver, there lies Kelvin Benjamin, who came out of Florida State a few years back. Malachi Dupree, former standout for Louisiana State University. Also, Zay Jones, ex-wide receiver from the East Carolina University Pirates. And at tight end, you've got a pass-catching weapon in Charles Clay. Defensively, Sean McDermott's staff, his team, got some boys on defense. Pass rushers in Shaq Lawson and Trent Murphy, and pieces in the secondary, Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, and Vontae Davis. Starting off offensively, LaShawn McCoy coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons for Bills Mafia. 2017, he had 287 carries for 1,138 yards, 6 touchdowns. Kelvin Benjamin, as I mentioned, the guy's a physical freak, 6'5". If the Bills can just keep him healthy, that's the knock on Benjamin. Has issues with medical mishaps. If he can just stay healthy, this is your red zone weapon for McCarron. This is your third down security blanket for McCarron. This is your guy that can go up and double coverage, go up one-on-one, snatch the ball out of the air. You can throw this type of weapon open. Kelvin Benjamin, 16 catches, 217 yards, and a touchdown this past season. Charles Clay at 6'3", 255 pounds, 49 receptions a season ago, 558 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaged 11.4 yards per catch, the best he's had since coming to Buffalo. And when you look at McCarron, during his time at Alabama, who were the tight ends he was throwing to? Guys like Michael Williams, Brad Smelly, Brian Vogler, did have O.J. Howard for one season, the 2013 year, the year in which O.J. Howard, 14 catches, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he's had some big-time tight ends to throw to at Alabama, but in the NFL, Charles Clay could be his guy in Buffalo. Once again, should McCarron win the job outrightly. The Bills last year, 9-7, made the playoffs for the first time since 1999 with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. But getting a guy like AJ, you've got an emotional leader in the locker room. You've got a strong linebacker type of leadership in that locker room. If he can work the field, the huddle, as well as the locker room, this is a Bills team that can be very dangerous in the AFC East, because we know McCarron's got the mechanics down. Deep ball, short to intermediate passing route, reading, reacting to defenses, and pre- and post-snap reads. He's got those things locked in and figured out. I mean, this is a guy that during his time at Alabama, 2009 to 2013, we're talking about a 3-time BCS national championship winning quarterback. 2 of those titles came with him as the starter, 2011 and 2012. The 2012 season, 2,933 passing yards, 30 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, winning the Maxwell Award and the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, and also finished second to Jameis Winston in the Heisman voting. So Buffalo Bills got themselves something here. Can McCarron work the locker room, work the field, work the huddle is the biggest thing. Once again, the Bills will try to get a quarterback in this draft to pair next to him, but to get McCarron in this free agency, huge when you look at the Patriots still sticking with Tom Brady. Brady mentioning the fact that he can play till he's 45 years old. And then you've got the Jets who signed Josh McCown to another 1-year deal. They're also working things out with Teddy Bridgewater. And then the Miami Dolphins still holding on to Ryan Tannehill. The AFC East can be very interesting in the next couple of seasons, but AJ McCarron, Buffalo Bills, agreeing to a 2-year deal worth $10 million, but McCarron can actually get $16.5 million. The extra $6.5 million will come from how will his play exceed the expectations. But that takes us to the end of the show. In my own words, the podcast, great week of shows. We've been able to look at the NFL Combine, Alabama's Pro Day, Butch Jones, and how the former University of Tennessee head coach would fit in at Alabama as an offensive analyst potentially. And then also Gardner Minshew, former East Carolina University quarterback, transferring to Alabama, should arrive in May. What does he bring to the table? And then getting a chance to discuss AJ McCarron and the Buffalo Bills coming into agreement on a 2-year deal. You can catch the podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to the Touchdown Alabama Magazine YouTube site. Like the podcast. So hit the subscribe button. Leave comments. I'm here to give you, the Alabama fans, in-depth, inside look at the program from all different angles. For the fans that want to know more about your team, that want to learn more about your team, that crave to know the best information about the Crimson Tide, check out In My Own Words, the podcast, Touchdown Alabama's YouTube site. New podcasts come out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can refresh yourself on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays with previous podcasts. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, new podcasts will hit you via the YouTube site. You can also catch it on Facebook, Twitter, and other forms of social media. But for all of us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine, I'm your boy, Stephen M. Smith. Until next time, enjoy your week. Enjoy March Madness as Alabama takes on Virginia Tech tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. That's going to be awesome. But until next time, so long, everybody. It's your boy, Stephen M. Smith, host of In My Own Words, the podcast. If you are a fan of this show, then I encourage you to subscribe to the Touchdown Alabama Magazine YouTube channel. Also follow the brand on Facebook, Twitter, and other forms of social media as we continue to bring you the best in Alabama football and Crimson Tide athletics.